Hey guys, Wade Vander here of DCTitleGuy.com, and I hope that you really took advantage of the last year's awesome real estate market and you killed it and were super successful. But we're in a new year now, and I want to talk about something I think is very important because I get a lot of calls from title reps, and that's about title company sales managers. So I get calls from title people all over the country all the time, and their plight's kind of the same. It's very similar in terms of their questions. But the issue I have is I ask them, hey, by the way, do you have a sales manager? And I would say half the time the answer is either they do, yes, or it's, well, kind of, which is an issue. So my first thought is, well, if you have a sales manager, why are you calling me, right? Well, there's some issues with that, right? And we're gonna get into that in a second. But first, I wanna talk about the disconnect between management, right? There's usually always a disconnect between management, corporate, it could be a title sales manager, and high-performing, middle level to high-performing salespeople. And the problem with that disconnect is we're client-facing, right? We're client-facing, we're doing client retention, we're working weekends, we're teaching classes, we're at events, we're trying to learn as many of the latest and greatest marketing tools and tricks and tips to help people, right, as much as we can. And over here, they don't really do that, right? But they see the revenue that comes in because of it. And they see that and it's great, but in the end, they don't really understand what it is we do. They don't, okay? So the reason that's a problem is because these are the people over here who promote and bring in the title company sales manager and say, hey, you'd be great to manage these awesome people. Hey, you know what you're doing. When sometimes that's true, sometimes that's not true, right? So typically when I see the issues with the title company sales managers is we have the person who's been loyal to the title company for a long time. They've maybe done different jobs within the company, and now there's a need for a sales manager, and so they put that person in place and say, hey, listen, can you manage the salespeople? Can you just make sure that they're kind of like making their calls and doing some stuff, and making sure that Sally Smith over here doesn't spend too much money on her expense account this month, and just make sure that there's so this person's kind of like a card holder. Like there's kind of like they put something there to make sure everybody's kind of in place, but they're not there to help learn, educate, train, make them smarter. That's not that person, right? But they're the sales manager, and I've had that before in my own business. Okay, number two, you have the competing sales manager. Someone who's also still doing title sales, they're still trying to make commissions and build a book and do client stuff, but they've just been doing title sales for a really long time, right? They're not new, and they're moderately or they're decently successful, but they're older or whatever, so they make them the sales manager. But if you're a new sales rep or you're trying to get to the next level, this person is probably not going to have a ton of time for you, because not only are they managing other people, but they're got their own book of business. Right? So imagine you being busy in your own title rep business, and then you got to go manage 5 or 6 or 7 other people. Like, tough, right? So you got that person. Then lastly, you have the person who, they've been in the business for a long time. Maybe they did sales at some point. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. But they're now a sales manager, but they don't know much about online marketing or social media stuff or video marketing or short form video or farming strategies, and they're very old school in their way of thinking. Like, they're not going to be up on the newest stuff to really help you, but they're there. And they're the sales manager, okay? You maybe give them your reports, or you give them your activity report, or you send them your expense report. But they're not there to make you better all the time, right? They're not 1 or 2 or 3 steps ahead of you on the marketing platform, so that they're always going to give you tips and tricks and nuggets that's going to make you better. That doesn't happen, right? And that's typically when I'm getting the phone calls, because they're like, this person's just not really there to help me. So the question I ask back to these title reps is, if you had a really hot prospect appointment, would you bring this person with you on the appointment to slam that home, right? If that person came with you, you know that you're going to get that client, because they're just going to nail it home. And most of the time the answer is they don't want them to come because they're a liability. Think about that. The sales manager is a liability to these people, at least in their mind, right? So whether that's true or not true, but it's in their mind that that's true based on their experience. So, at the end of the day, you got to learn to step it up, man. Like, I understand that you're there for a reason to help, but you got to be above and beyond. Like, what are you doing when you're not working? Are you watching other YouTube channels of people that are awesome at marketing and then learning what they're doing? Like, are you trying to be 1 or 2 or 3 steps ahead of your title reps to bring them even more value? Are you helping them with scripting and appointments, overcoming objections? Are you showing them how to edit some videos? Are you showing them like different things that they can bring to their agents that's going to help them? Are you asking to go on high-level client prospect appointments to help them grow? If you are, congratulations, that's awesome, you're amazing. But in my experience, most of the time, that's not the case, okay? So what's the solution to this? Because I can tell you part of the problem is that being the sales manager can be sucky, right? Not fun. Ever manage people? Not great all the time, right? And I can tell you high-performing salespeople don't always want to be the sales manager because they make far more money doing what they're doing than to go be a sales manager and I got to rely on these 4 people over here to make me my commissions. Like, that's not fun. Like, I don't want to do that. So how do you provide a solution? Okay, so the title company, in my opinion, they should be promoting the sales manager from within. Sales should go to sales, okay? But we just talked about how that can't be fun and how that can't be profitable. Well, we gotta make it fun and we gotta make it profitable, okay? So, sorry title companies, gotta spend some money here because if you gotta understand that the sales manager is the investment piece. That's not an expense, it's an investment. Pay that person. If this person's going to be managing all the people below, they should be paid pretty well because you got to make the job lucrative and coveted, not feared. Like, I don't want to be the sales manager. Oh, I got to go talk to people. I got to manage these folks and like make it coveted and make it lucrative. Pay well, entice people to do it, incentivize them. Provide good commission guardrails in place to really get them to the next level, right? And make it like a stepping stone up to something else. Otherwise, what happens is I keep getting all the phone calls from people that say they have sales managers who can't help them. So, there's a disconnect in an issue there. So I would say this, in 2022, company sales managers, wherever you are, I love you, but invest in yourself, invest in your team, to get them to the next level. 2022 is not going to be like 2020 and 2021. Okay, the refi business is almost gone, right? Low housing inventory, extremely low. Everyone's going to be fighting for every deal. We got to be bringing in new customers constantly. So it's time to step it up, okay, to help your team get to the next level, or else everything's going to be a problem. So, but if you're a title company, title sales rep out there, and you need help, you need support, you don't have a sales manager, right? You just don't know what to do. Feel free to reach out to me. Love to talk to you. 480-203-6452. You can email me at wvander@stewart.com. And thank you for watching this long video. All right, talk to you soon.